All right, can you hear me? Okay. So we have the last session here for Oceans Day at COP29, and this is also the final concluding session at the WGEO Pavilion. So we thank you for hosting us. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Anuradha, and on behalf of the MENA Oceans Initiative by Gumbuk, I'm pleased to welcome you all today to this session on blue economies and coastal resilience. I think when we talk about oceans and nature, we're typically always talking about the ecosystem. But when it comes to restoring our ecosystems and halting the biodiversity loss, the role of the private sector and industry is almost critical. So today we're here to gather experts and practitioners to understand this interlinkage a little better between industry and the sectors and how they can really play a critical role in enabling and implementing some of the policies that are being laid down on the ground. Um, we're throwing a spotlight today on dialogues, research, and best practices in this domain with all of you gathered here. We have a lot of people joining us online as well, and your session is being recorded to host it on our website and to communicate it and amplify the messaging after. To open this session, I welcome on stage Ambassador Peter Thompson. He is the UN Secretary General Special Advisor for the Ocean and someone who has been relentlessly leading the entire ocean community globally to deliver on climate goals, placing the ocean at the center of this conversation. Ambassador, we're ready to start.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the privilege of addressing you all and those being on camera. I presume that's the camera there, is it? Yes, it's been a long day for all of us, I think, but it's getting to an end, and it's been a very valuable day for Ocean Action. This is actually the first time I'm addressing sustainable blue economies today, so congratulations to MENA Oceans for choosing sustainable blue economy for its topic. Because if you look at SDG 14, which is what I push for around the world, the implementation of SDG 14, the ocean goal, it's about sustainable use and conservation, getting that in balance. And if you talk about sustainable use, what you're basically talking about is the sustainable blue economy. So good choice of topic. Sustainable blue economy, obviously it's that first word is the most important bit to me. I often hear people talk about blue economy and I say, no, no, no. If it's just another round of rape and pillage of the planet's resources, we're not in it. But if it's a sustainable blue economy, obviously that's good for our grandchildren. So just remember to always put the S word in there first. There are so many challenges in sustainability when it comes to the ocean, but the good news is that we have the ocean on our side. The ocean loves it when we approach things in a sustainable way. The ocean is our ultimate mother, and we have to give it that kind of respect. So, for example, fishing. If we're going to just go out there and catch as much fish as we can or play politics in fisheries management organizations about, who's getting this, who's getting that, without thinking about the fact that what is most important is the nature involved and that we must never overfish. They must always be within biologically stable limits. If we take that approach as absolutely what's ruling our thinking about fish, then you're going to change your habits. Why? Because 1 in 5 fish is illegally caught, number one. So we've all eaten illegal fish. Number two, we are overfishing by 34% of global fish stocks. So, when we have some fish, are we eating fish that's not sustainable? We've got to think about those things. And the good news there is that aquaculture, sustainable aquaculture again, because there are some kinds of aquaculture which are totally inappropriate and not sustainable. The appropriate sustainable aquaculture with appropriate species, appropriate feeds, all of us will benefit from that. And by the way, that graph is going like that, aquaculture, whereas the catch graph has been like this for decades now, flat, wild catch. So aquaculture is the future. Then you look for health in the human community in the post-antibiotic age. Where we're going to go? We're going to go to the ocean. We went there for COVID drugs. We're going to go there in the post-antibiotic age. 90% of the life in the ocean is microbial. That's where we're going to find our medicines of the future. But again, we have to respect the ocean. We can't pollute it and expect it still to give us all these incredible gifts. My logo is a thing called Prochlorococcus. I always say to WWF, if the panda goes extinct next year, it'd be a great tragedy, but it's just one more cuddly mammal. Whereas my logo, which is Prochlorococcus, if Prochlorococcus goes extinct, we're finished. Why? Prochlorococcus, tiny marine organism, the smallest photosynthetic organism on the planet, that produces 20% of the oxygen in the biosphere. So that microbial life is just so important to us all. So that's why, again, why we have to respect the ocean. And then we come to energy, sustainable blue economy. The green energy sector is just such a vital part of it. Offshore wind being the big one there, but also floating solar and all the rest. So for all of this, coastal communities, we can benefit so much. But let's remember that if you're talking about coastal communities, you're talking about rising sea levels. And I hope all of you have stopped at the entrance to this big hall to see that stand which is being put up by Iceland and Chile, I think, put it up on rising sea levels. Have a look at it. It's very explicitly shown what happens when you get to 1 degree, what 1.5 degree warming, what happens when you get to 2 degrees, what happens when you get to 3 degrees. At 3 degrees, most of our small island countries are obliterated. Half of Florida, the southern half of Florida, is gone. Look at Bangladesh. And where are those hundreds of millions of people in Bangladesh going to go when that happens? And this is not dream. This is science telling us what happens at 3 degrees with the melting of the ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland. This is what's going to happen. The water's got nowhere to go but out when those ice sheets on land melt. So this is very important stuff for coastal communities and the small island developing states as we go about trying to develop our sustainable blue economies, as we must. So I think my final word would be just to remind everybody that everything is connected. And in the ocean, we understand that there's only one ocean, and all the currents of the world, are all driven off the Antarctica current, and it doesn't matter where you are, that you are connected to that Antarctica current. But it's also very relevant because of what I just said about melting ice sheets. If the ice is coming off the land in Greenland going into the ocean, it's just one big bathtub. It's going to have direct effects on us in the South Pacific. My neighbor country, Tuvalu, will go underwater, and so it's one ocean, one bathtub. So I'll leave you just with the clear logic, and it's a hard thing to say in Baku, but Baku is one of the great oil centers of the world. The direct correlation, the logical link that we have to stop rising sea levels, and probably more importantly, the death of coral, is that we have to stop burning fossil fuels. We have to end our addiction to fossil fuels, coal, oil, gas. Logic: no healthy planet without a healthy ocean. How can you have a healthy ocean without coral? 25% of life in the ocean depends on coral. Coral will be extinct once we get past about 2 degrees, somewhere between 2 degrees and 3 degrees, coral will be extinct. What is the implication of that for humanity? If there's no healthy ocean, there's no healthy planet. So where does humankind go? And I don't think we'll all be able to get on Elon Musk's rockets and head to Mars. I don't think so. We have to solve this problem now. And so you basically take it back to its logical cause, and that is to end our addiction to fossil fuels and move to green energy. And a final word, just so wonderful to see the way that this organization, I remember when it started, but it's now over 90 countries. It says 88, but I believe it's now 91 countries are now members. So congratulations to the Green Economy Organization. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity of addressing you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. With your support, I think right from day one, when we hosted the first MENA Ocean Summit in June 2023 in Dubai, where you sent us an online recording because you couldn't make it, we've only seen this initiative grow by leaps and bounds with more and more stakeholders joining the conversation. Um, I now call on stage Ms. Sevinch Sarukhanova. She's the senior advisor to the high level climate champion for COP29 Baku and the environmental expert at the presidency. Thank you very much for joining us on behalf of Ms. Nigar Arpadarai to deliver the keynote address and to kickstart this session as well.
So, thank you very much. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the UN High Climate Level Champion for COP29, is it time? Okay. Ms. Nigar Arpadai, it is my great pleasure to welcome you in this important session. I extend my gratitude to the organizers and commend each of you for this dedication to safeguarding our oceans and coasts while advancing climate solutions. We know that oceans are central to the fight against climate change, and they regulate our planet's climate, absorb nearly a third of the global carbon dioxide emissions, and provide us food, livelihood, and protection for billions of the people. However, they are under the severe threat from rising temperature, pollution, and sustainable practices. Protecting and leveraging the potential of our ocean is not just an environmental necessity, it is also a cornerstone of the global climate action. We would like to note that as a high-level champion office started the campaign on the small and medium enterprises because we know that these SMEs they play a critical role in addressing these challenges, especially also which is related to the oceans. They are engines to the local economies and hubs of the innovations and drivers of the job creations. That's why we think that targeting the support SMEs involved in the special marine conservation, sustainable fisheries, and renewable ocean energy can lead the way in reducing emissions and also protecting ecosystems. Under Ms. Arpadarai's leadership, the High Level Champion Office launched the initiatives. We have two initiatives. The first it is the climate proofing SMEs, and second it is the Impact Makers campaign, which aim to bring sustainability to the heart of the business and community action. And we are sure that these initiatives are fostering innovative solutions that can be scaled across sectors and including ocean-based industries because they share their best practices. They can for the sustainable fisheries and also for waste management or coastal conservation. And by leveraging all these technologies, we can empower even the most remote communities to contribute to ocean health and resilience. Of course, if we reflect to the COP29, we must acknowledge progress while addressing the gaps. Today, for the first time this year, as an initiative of the COP29's President's Major Initiative, we would like to note that there was the water-related initiative and the Baku Dialogue on Water for Climate Action was launched. And it aimed mainly to underscore the crucial role of the water as a fundamental element of the nature. Also, the source of all livelihoods on Earth and a vital habitat for natural ecosystems. We understand that we must also ensure that funding mechanisms such as the NCQGs and also Lost and Damaged Fund, which prioritize these ocean-based solutions. At the same time, we think that building resilience requires inclusive solutions that empower coastal cities, youth, and local communities. And all this nature-based approach, such as mangrove restorations or coral reef protection, which was mentioned by the Mr. Ambassador, and also sustainable aquaculture can mitigate climate impacts while enhancing livelihoods. And by all this investing in these strategies, we not only safeguard ecosystems, but we also create opportunities for vulnerable populations to thrive. Finally, we must adopt a holistic approach to climate action because ocean it is not a victim of the climate change, but also we should see this as a powerful solution. Ocean-based sectors like renewable energies, sustainable aquatic food systems, and coastal tourism can drive emission reductions and economic growth simultaneously. In the closing, let's hit the call to action inspired by the Miss Arpadarai's leadership. Collaboration is the heart of the transformation, and we believe that together, by integrating ocean priorities into our global agenda and empowering communities, businesses, and governments, we can build a thriving future for our oceans and for our planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Sevinch. To kickstart the discussions, we now have a fireside chat. Today's session, very interestingly, is also the initiation, I think, the starting phases of a long lasting partnership between the World Green Economy Organization and the MENA Oceans Initiative. So we're very glad to see some of our partners who we've been working with, our board members who've gathered here today to join us in this agenda. Um, Together between the two initiatives and institutions, we look forward to working together to including ocean action agendas as a key priority within some of the countries within the WGEO network and to aligning our agendas towards sustainable blue economies. To delve into this discussion, I call upon Ms. Tatiana Antonelli Abea. She's the founder and managing director of Gumbuk and the chair of the MENA Oceans Initiative, and Mr. Amjad Abdullah, who's the special advisor to the Director General of the WGEO and also the senior climate change expert within the IPCC. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not used to this new technology. My first instinct would be to scream and shout to make sure you, you can hear me, but this is amazing. It's a pleasure to meet you and really um, for everyone to know, and maybe later we can take also a symbolic picture. We are entering an incredible partnership together. Gumbuk as the MENA Ocean Initiative, the Green Economy, World Green Economy Organization, and I think together we can definitely achieve more impact, specifically around blue economies. First of all, I would love for everyone to understand more about the WGEO. What do you do?
Thank you very much indeed. It's a pleasure to be here. Apologies, sincere apologies from the Director General due to his commitment that he was unable to meet and has kindly requested me to present him. World Green Economy Organization, I'm sure if you have run through the story of this, it would be wonderful to know what if you look at that picture, what we do, what our mission and the objectives is to enable bankable green projects. That's the objective. The mission is to bring all the countries on board to, I'm sure, I mean, we all, if you look at the theme of the COP itself, I can't remember the theme of the COP, for a more greener solidarity, right? I mean, the whole world is in a crossroad towards a green economy. And that is fundamental to World Green Economy Organization. What what we do is towards moving and bringing the whole world together towards moving to green sustainable practices that ensures that we have a livable planet for our children. That's what we do in a nutshell. But I'm sure, I mean, I can go on and on, but I think it's self-explanatory if you look at these posters, which prescribes what we do, how we do, and then obviously the Global Alliance on Green Economy is the key flagship program that we have enacted in 2022. And His Excellency Peter Thompson indicated that, his own country, Fiji, was a member. And when we arrived here, it was 88 countries. And by as of today, I was informed that it's 91 countries. So the countries see that there is a movement and there is a desire from the countries towards moving to a green economy and green principles and practices. I can certainly go on, but I think we have quite few limited time, so I would just be very brief on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, definitely, I think COPs in general are all centered around cooperation, collaboration. This year, I really love the word solidarity. I think this is also a special thought around the countries that are in need of really solidarity, much more than just collaboration. We need to look at them with some priority. But what you do shows the need of coming together at a global level. I think from a MENA Oceans point of view, we're trying to bring together the different players in the MENA region. A couple of years ago, I was asked, why are you doing MENA Oceans? And my question, actually, I didn't answer. I had a counter question saying, tell me, what is the biodiversity in our oceans in the MENA region? And the person that was in front of me couldn't answer. Of course, when you talk about oceans worldwide, you have other images. We think about the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, the Pacific. Rarely someone will tell you about what we have in the Arabian Gulf or what we have, in the Gulf of Oman. When you ask and you tell actually people, we have the biggest population of bottlenose dolphins. People look at us like if it was almost a lie when we tell them, well, we have the second biggest population of whale sharks, that they actually come and nest in the Arabian Gulf. People they can't believe it. And it's not just about dugongs and dolphins and whales, it's also about corals that are very resilient and can withstand incredible temperatures. So we have a wealth that we can share regionally and globally, and somehow all this is done in silo. So we have incredible universities and research centers, but this data is not shared. So another problem here is data transparency. We have governments who are really taking incredible steps to accelerate the agenda in terms of sustainability, in terms of climate action, but again, they're not coming together in the region. So this, for us at Gumbuk, it was definitely a call to action to say, we for 15 years have been mobilizing different stakeholders from private sector, government, youth, academia, and it's the time to do it for oceans. And so this is why we, we took this giant leap and we decided to create the MENA Ocean Initiative with a network, with a summit. We're now going into global frameworks, but we definitely need partners. I mean, we cannot do this together. We need to work with not only local players, and also I think it's worth mentioning that the World Green Economy Organization is actually based out of the UAE in Dubai. But again, it's looking at beyond borders and globally. Whatever we do locally, really, we need to start seeing it as having a global impact. So for us, it was fundamental to have a partner such as World Green Economy Organization to look beyond borders, beyond the region, and see what we can do. We started looking also at Europe, and we realized that they are looking at the region as an opportunity. South of Europe is facing very similar climatic conditions, and for them to understand how we are able to thrive still in the region, even looking at agriculture sometimes, but also looking at the biodiversity of the region. It's important to see how we can create those connections. Um, I know that you also have a huge focus on partnerships, and you're telling me that from 88 coming to COP, now ending COP, you're 91.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Who are the countries who just joined?
Dominican Republic and Dominican Republic, Egypt, and I forgot Saint Vincent and the Grenadines.
And how many countries do we have from the MENA region?
MENA region, we have UAE, Bahrain, Oman. I think these three. Well, that's from Gulf. I think MENA region. I think from the North Africa. I think we have Morocco, we have Mauritania, and we have Sudan. We have Somalia. I think most of the region in the North Africa region, they are part of it.
What is the outlook on green economies for these countries? Sorry, blue economies.
Well, we strongly believe that the transitioning to a greener, and if you look at our logo itself, it is green and blue. So the focus, if you look at our main focus and objectives, it does not distinct blue or green. So it's about, if you look at the pie chart of the SDG goals, it encompasses everything. So it does not leave anything and it does not leave anyone behind. So we strongly believe that moving towards a sustainable development and sustainable economic growth is key and fundamental for both green and blue economy. And as you said, the whole region is surrounded by the ocean and it is very rich. And most of the food is from the oceans. And the economy is relying on the economy, at least in the region. And that is what I wanted to relate to the temperature goal. If the global temperature, average temperature, does not reach to what the Paris says, we all in the MENA region, all the entire global economy is going to have a catastrophic impact. Because the whole MENA region, the Gulf, the Red Sea, the corals, the fish, we don't know. I mean, you can go on and on. The wealth of resources that we have in the oceans is just endless, and that is why the scientific communities unanimously have agreed that the world has to unite on moving towards the temperature goal. That is what I'm hearing. Also, I'm very eager to see the entire outcome of this COP, whether we can really salvage the Paris goal. So again, learning from the MENA region, and if you look at the across the globe, whether it's South Europe or the countries in the equator, it depends on the ocean resources, the marine resources. So we strongly see the partnership with the Oceans Initiative. That's why we, from the green economy perspective, we strongly believe that international collaboration and partnerships, enduring partnerships, not just the partnerships, enduring partnerships is quite critical for us.
We need to look at long term. Thank you very much. I think, as you said, we don't have much time. Otherwise, we would continue for much longer. But just as a takeaway, we definitely want to make a call to action for more partnerships, long-term partnerships, and also to again repeat what Ambassador Sampson said. This is about one ocean uniting us all, and we're all in this together. Nature-based solutions, nature are very important. And as Her Excellency Razana Mubarak always says, we don't have a Paris Agreement if we don't have nature as a priority. So thank you very much for being here today. Thank you so much. Maybe we can shake our hands officially.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
the
really.
support. Yes, please.